applauded the burning of Erevos now silenced themselves, fearing Earth's gaze would turn upon them. The Terran armada carved through systems with a cold precision. They did not slaughter without purpose. They did not gloat. They destroyed military strongholds, command centers, shipyards. They stripped the Zurith Dominion of its weapons, its pride, its ability to ever raise a fleet again. The galaxy had seen empires fall before, slowly, over decades of attrition. But this was different. This was vengeance unchained. The humans did not come to conquer. They came to erase a lesson into the stars. Silence and dread. When the fires finally dimmed, the galaxy was quiet. The Zurith Dominion, once an empire spanning sectors, was reduced to fragments. Their homeworld skies were filled with the wreckage of fleets. Their proud banners were trampled into mud. Survivors whispered in terror. Those who once laughed now dared not speak Earth's name aloud. They called them instead the Silent Storm, a force that arrived without plea or parley and left only ruin. And yet, even as they trembled, they understood the truth. Humanity had not fought for conquest but for justice. They had not answered arrogance with diplomacy but with finality. The Erevos colony was gone, but in its ashes, the galaxy had learned a lesson it would never forget. Patience is vast, mercy is deep, but when provoked, when tested beyond reason, human vengeance is infinite. And across the stars, in the hushed corners of marketplaces, in the whispers of diplomats, in the fearful songs of children, one truth passed from voice to voice. Never provoke Earth again. The ashes of Halcyon Prime. They descended like shadows across the dawn, tearing fire into the skies of Halcyon Prime. The colony was young, barely 50 years old, its cities a blend of glass towers, agricultural domes, and families that had dared to carve a life beyond Earth's cradle. For decades it had thrived in peace, a symbol of human expansion into the wider galaxy. Children played in the open parks, scientists toiled in labs that reached for the stars, and farmers plowed soil beneath twin suns. And then the Zurith came. They struck without warning. Orbital strikes rained down upon the colony's cities, boiling seas and cracking continents. Civilians screamed as warships darkened the skies, and the ground forces that followed showed no hesitation, burning homes, executing survivors, reducing Halcyon Prime to nothing more than a lesson carved in fire. The alien commanders broadcast their cruelty across the sector. Earth's colonies are weak, their people soft, their defenses a dream. Let this burning world remind the galaxy that humans are not conquerors, they are prey. The transmission ended with laughter. Ash rose into the stratosphere, choking what remained of Halcyon Prime's once green valleys. 10 million lives silenced in a single night. The galaxy watched, and the galaxy saw humans bleed. The arrogance of the conquerors. In the aftermath, the Zurith Council celebrated. Their fleets gathered in orbit above their capital world, reveling in the humiliation of Earth's children. Around their grand tables, alien voices sneered at the notion of retaliation. Humans, one chancellor mocked, his mandibles clicking. They build their colonies on hope, not strength. They beg for peace while carrying dull blades. Their patience is weakness, their mercy cowardice. The species is a herd, not a predator. Another added with cruel satisfaction, they will howl, yes. They will mourn, yes, but they will not strike back. Earth hides behind words, diplomacy, and empty treaties. They will bury their dead and bow their heads. That is all. And across the galaxy other species listened. Some agreed, some trembled, but all believed the same: humanity would endure in silence. For centuries, Earth had been cautious, deliberate. They had negotiated rather than waged wars, traded rather than plundered, spoken rather than struck. The image of humanity had become that of a wise but toothless species. The Zurith thought this meant they were safe. They had mistaken restraint for weakness. The silence before the storm. For weeks, Earth did not respond. The great halls of the United Terran Assembly remained quiet. No threats, no declarations, no demands for retribution were sent. Instead, a vast and terrible silence stretched outward from Sol. The Zurith grew bolder in that silence. They sent new patrols to human space, daring Earth to react. They mocked the colony's ashes in their broadcasts. They carved Halcyon Prime's emblem onto their war banners as if to say, "This is what becomes of those who dream too high." But while the galaxy saw only stillness, deep within the Black Sea of Earth's territories, a machine of vengeance stirred. Across Mars, Luna, and the orbital shipyards above Earth, construction lines that had lain dormant lit up with furious activity. The fleets that humanity had kept in shadow, dreadnoughts, carriers, cruisers forged in steel and silence, were summoned from their hidden harbors. Old soldiers were called back into service. The words of the recall order were short, sharp, and unyielding. Halcyon Prime has fallen. Vengeance will rise. Outposts across human space began to whisper the same phrase. Mining stations, science colonies, frontier garrisons, all of them waited, holding their breath as though the universe itself trembled. The galaxy had thought Earth powerless, but the galaxy had forgotten. Humanity's silence was never surrender, it was preparation. The first thunder. The storm broke at the edges of Zurith space. A patrol fleet of 12 ships, arrogant and unprepared, intercepted a lone human transmission. The signal contained no threats, no diplomacy, only a single, cold sentence. "For Halcyon Prime we come." The fleet laughed, and then they died. From the void, human warships emerged like predators unshackled. Dreadnoughts with hulls black as midnight. Carriers that vomited forth swarms of strike craft. Frigates and destroyers maneuvered with impossible precision, tearing through alien formation like fire through dry grass. The battle lasted less than an hour. Not a single Zurith vessel survived. The human fleet did not linger. It vanished as quickly as it came, leaving only wreckage drifting in silence. Word spread quickly, and with each retelling, fear took root. The humans had struck, not with hesitation but with fury. Fire across the stars. The retaliation did not end at a single patrol. It began to spread, inexorable as nightfall. Entire Zurith garrisons vanished in sudden storms of missiles and railgun fire. Outposts were reduced to molten slag. Convoys burned in the void, their final screams swallowed by jamming fields that choked all escape. Every human strike was deliberate, methodical. Not random vengeance, but cold calculation. Every target chosen with precision. Every fleet movement designed to terrify. The galaxy watched in stunned horror. Human dreadnoughts moved like executioners across the stars, their silhouettes blotting out the suns of occupied systems. Ground forces descended in armored dropships, their soldiers masked in black, advancing with merciless efficiency. Where the Zurith had once laughed as they slaughtered civilians, humanity's soldiers spoke only one phrase to their enemies before unleashing annihilation. Halcyon Prime remembers. Planets were not merely taken, they were shattered. Orbital bombardments carved scars visible from orbit, reminders of what it meant to kindle Earth's wrath. And still the fleets pressed onward. The fall of the conquerors. At last, the humans came for the Zurith homeworld. The alien capital, once a hub of arrogance and pride, faced the unblinking eyes of an armada the galaxy had never dreamed possible. Thousands of ships, their formation stretching across the void like a wall of vengeance. Engines burned brighter than stars. Weapons hummed with restrained fury. The Zurith Council tried to sue for peace. Messages flooded toward Earth. We were mistaken. We misjudged. We surrender. But the only answer was silence. And then the sky broke. Human fleets descended upon the homeworld, blotting out the heavens. Orbital defense lines crumbled. Their fleets were shredded in hours. On the ground, human soldiers advanced with relentless precision, not pausing for mercy, not bending to please. The once proud capital burned, its spires collapsing into ash. Its leaders were dragged from their halls, their voices silenced forever. The same words they had once broadcast in triumph now echoed back at them, mocking, cold, final. Earth's children are not prey. By the time the last human ship withdrew, the Zurith were broken. Their empire shattered, their fleets annihilated, their people left in silence and ruin. The galaxy remembers. When it was over, the galaxy did not cheer. It whispered. Across every star, on every station, in every council hall, one truth spread like wildfire. Never provoke Earth again. The humans had shown patience, yes, but they had also shown what lay beneath that patience. A vengeance colder than the void, sharper than any blade, more absolute than death. Halcyon Prime was gone, but in its ashes the galaxy had learned the cost of arrogance. Where once they had mocked humanity as a species too civilized to retaliate, now they looked upon Earth as a slumbering leviathan, quiet until roused, merciful until provoked, but unstoppable when awakened. And so silence fell once more, not the silence of arrogance, but the silence of fear. For the galaxy now understood. One colony burned, and the galaxy paid the price.